This is Pantone 448C, a greenish-brown that since 2012 has been the ugliest color in the world. Which for me, naturally, begs the question, is it possible to make a good texture pack centered around this absolutely horrid color? Why am I doing this? Well, I want to prove that there is no such thing as an ugly color, only an ugly way to use it. Alright, let's quickly slow down and figure out how we can make this work. There's two ways to make a color palette for a texture pack. We can either do a monochromatic color palette that keeps all the colors roughly in the same range, and this probably won't work. Or B, do an analogous color palette, which is just a big fancy word for using a wide range of colors that complement each other. Kind of like this. Definitely not perfect, but it's a good second draft. After multiple different attempts and iterations, I ended up going back to what I originally made with some minor tweaks. And in case you were wondering, no, it's not normal to make like 10 different sword designs for one pack. Also, in case you were wondering, this is where I put the Pantone color. And the reason why it feels kind of hidden is because, well, that's the point. I'm trying to make a pack that actually looks good, and I can't make it look good if I have a dark brown color in like the very middle of my sword. By the way, there's some really cool ideas here I stumbled upon that I'm definitely revisiting in the future, but for now, I'll stay with this. And honestly, I'm pretty happy with the end product. Wait, why is there a counter in the... Wait, 1 out of 700 textures I'm not doing. Okay, so we're slowly filling up this world. I just did some of the tools and did some of the other sword palettes, some gold, some iron. Ideally, I'd want most of what your eye can see here to be textured, which obviously counts the blocks, the armor, and, well, the other items. Speaking of blocks, I think this is gonna end up being a darker pack, which isn't what I usually do. I usually go pretty bright. It's not on purpose, it kind of happens, but most of my packs have like really bright, bubbly stone. But this for sure would look great with some like heater dark stone and like a darker grass. Whoa. Yeah, I wish that's how texture pack making actually worked. Ooh, wait, I missed a spot. I forgot the ores. I don't know why. I kind of just hate doing these. Maybe it's because it's a nightmare for somebody who is like chronically lazy. Like, okay, wait, this is perfect for the diamond texture, right? But the second I make it the emerald texture, it's, well, I mean, it's like, it's too similar, you know? I mean, personally, I can tell them apart. I actually can't. Wait, I actually unironically just mined an emerald ore thinking it was diamond. Oh my. There, I think that should be fine. Maybe I'll revisit this in the future if something else needs to be added. It should do the job for now. Speaking of revisiting, let's revisit that 700 texture number. Half of which, by the way, is just UI textures. You see, Bedrock is different from Java, where instead of using organized big files that make texturing easy and simple, it has hundreds, and I mean literally hundreds of buttons for very oddly specific reasons. For example, did you know that this texture, recipe underscore book underscore dark underscore button.png, is used only once in the entirety of Minecraft? Yep, this is it. That's all it does. You know, I honestly would not bother if it wasn't so darn important. Okay, this is the first thing everybody using this pack is going to see. And first impressions matter a lot when it comes to texture packs. This is not a good first impression, so let's go fix that. Here, I really thought long and hard what to go for because I was kind of unsure. I decided to do this interesting sand clock layout that I just kind of stumbled upon by accident. I did think about doing black because that's obviously like a fan favorite, and honestly, I think it looks good, but it just feels very forced, and I kind of don't want to do it. Maybe because I'm saving it up for a future pack. No, but in all seriousness, I went with the brown because I just think it matches what I'm trying to go for here, and it unironically fits pretty well with the green. I also think the black button design has kind of been overdone to death. Maybe I'll do it again in the future, but not for this pack. Okay, boom, and just like that we have the UI done. Very cool is what I would say if I didn't just spend 10 hours working on all of these. You know, I would show you guys more of the thought process behind it, but trust me, it's just boring copy and pasting. I might need brain armor to protect myself from the insane boredom I just experienced. Speaking of armor, no, not this type of armor, this type of armor. Yeah, the armor file. In case you didn't know, this is what armor actually looks like to pack makers. And I kid you not, this might look confusing to you, but I've done this so many times I have a mental map in my head for which sections belong where. Like for example, this is the helmet. Okay, that's like the top, the bottom, etc, etc. These are the shoulder guards, and this, for example, oh wait, you guys probably don't know this. There's a hidden second layer for the helmet texture. You can do stuff like this with it. Now ain't that awesome? I don't know why Minecraft doesn't use the layer, but ever since I've discovered it, I've used it on every single pack. With that being said, I'm probably gonna roll back on the aggressiveness a little bit here, because I think my helmets kind of all end up looking the same after a while. So, ooh, I just thought of a banger video idea. Hear me out. Guess the texture. It's like a black and white image. You need to guess which pack it's from, you know. Alright, yapping aside, I think I'm happy with this texture. This is what we in the biz call an indented chest plate, which isn't the most impressive design, but I think it works well here. Honestly, this is going pretty well so far. I sure hope there aren't any big character revelations coming up soon. Like, I'm a very lazy person. In like a good way. In like a smart way, even. In the type of way where instead of just giving up on the wool texture and making it some unrecognizable blob of color, I go back and check out my old self who actually worked really hard on a bunch of textures he never used for his marketplace pack and pick one of them. I'm lazy in the type of way where instead of trying to figure out a bow texture, I just go to this old unreleased pack and take the bow one for one. I'm lazy in the type of way where I look at the Minecraft amethyst and think, me turn it into the ingots. I'm just kidding. You think I'm that creative? No, I also got this from another unreleased pack's hunger bar. Why is it a hunger bar? Dude, I don't know. This pack is like 2 years old.
Oh, wait. If you have so many unreleased packs, why didn't you just take one of them?
Bro, like for real, you already got a green pack. Why don't you just slot that crusty, musty, dusty color on it and call it a day?
You know, now that you mention it, I could have just done that. But oh well, you can't linger on the past. Am I right? Let's get back to pack making, shall we? Okay, we're about to be done with the texture pack. We have the armor done, we have the grass done, which there's a lot of grass blocks, by the way, if you didn't notice. The pack also has a sky now. I also did netherite armor. There's a gapple, there's potions. Oh, and there's particles as well. I forgot I added these. There's just also particles here. I also did chests for all you scours enjoyers out there. Yep, even the trap chest. The armor items, which actually turned out kind of nice. Maybe some people won't like them, but there are some of my favorite textures in this pack. Which should mean the pack is basically finished. While editing this, I noticed I'm sounding kind of tired here, and it's not because the pack was necessarily that hard to make. I think it's more the mental self-awareness that I was working with a color that most people wouldn't want to use over, say, a red or a blue or maybe even a pink. When I started preparing for this video, I had this whole ending planned out of me finding places where Pantone 448C was used successfully, like the Mona Lisa, for example, is a very famous painting that has some Pantone 448C spread around in it in the bushes in the background. And honestly, any nature themed painting that has dirt and some greens will find some form of this color in it. But it's different when you do it with a texture pack. And now that the pack is basically done, I'm stuck here wondering whether or not it's actually a good pack. I did say my goal was to make the best looking thing I could with this color, but when I showed this to a friend yesterday, he rightfully asked me, do you expect people to actually use this? And I don't know. I don't know if somebody would stop using their favorite pack in order to give this a chance. For what it's worth, I think this pack turned out way better than I expected it to, and I want to share that with you guys. And I still stand by what I said in the intro. I don't think there's such a thing as an ugly color. There's only ugly ways to use that color. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys try the pack. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.